Welcome to my channel Tech Set Go. Apple is getting ready to shake the tech world again. The countdown to September has started and all eyes are on the iPhone 17 series. This time it's not the usual slow buildup of hype. There's something different in the air. Leaks, rumors, insider whispers. They're all pointing in one direction. The iPhone 17 Pro Max could be the most exciting phone Apple has made in years. And no, this isn't about a new wallpaper or a slightly better camera. This could be the moment the Pro Max truly separates itself from the regular Pro. In the past, it looked almost the same with only a bigger screen and battery to tell them apart. But this time, the difference could be huge. Let's break it down. 3 features in particular are making tech fans sit up straight. Bigger, better display. A battery that could finally crush your charging anxiety, and a sleeker, smaller, dynamic island one. The display that changes everything in paper. It sounds small. The Pro Max is rumored to come with a 6.9 and Super Retina XDR display. The regular Pro 6.3 in, that's just 0.6 and more. But if you've ever used a phone side by side, you know half an inch can make a world of difference. That extra space changes how you use the phone. Watching movies feels more cinematic. Gaming feels more immersive. Editing photos and videos feels easier. Even scrolling through documents or spreadsheets feels less cramped. It's like the phone is quietly moving into tablet territory, but without becoming bulky or awkward. It gives you the screen size of a foldable without the hinges, the creases, or the moving parts that can wear out. And here's where it gets even more interesting. The display tech itself. Rumors say Apple is going for a new type of OLED, something called micro lens. OLED. It's brighter. It's more energy efficient. It's easier to see under harsh sunlight. We're talking about brightness levels possibly pushing past 1,500 nits. That's a lot. That's the difference between squinting at your phone outdoors and just using it like normal dot. Colors would be richer. Reflections would be reduced. Whites would pop without looking harsh. Blacks would be deep without swallowing. Details do. Because the Pro Max has a bigger body, it handles heat better. The same screen tech in both phones. Sure, but the bigger phone will keep that brightness longer before heat forces it to dim. For people who spend hours gaming, streaming, or editing, that matters. The display won't just be good. It could be the best screen Apple has ever put on a phone. And not just for flashy demos, for everyday life. Point 2, the battery that refuses to quit. No, let's talk power, not the chip yet. We'll get to that later. I mean, the kind of power that keeps your phone alive when you've been using it all day. Leakers are saying the Pro Max might be about 5% thicker this year. Usually thicker is a dirty word in phone design, but here it could be a blessing. That extra space could hold Apple's biggest battery yet, maybe over 5,000 meters a dot. If that's true, we could be looking at 36 hours of normal use. Turn on low power mode, and maybe, just maybe, you'd hit 48 hours. 2 days without a charge? That's huge. Think about what that means. Travelers could get through an entire trip without scrambling for an outlet. Vloggers could film for hours without carrying a battery pack. Gamers could keep playing without watching the percentage drop in panic. And here's the other half of the story. Heat management. There are whispers about graphene-based cooling. Graphene pulls heat away from components faster than traditional materials. That means your phone stays cooler under heavy loads. Cooler phones don't throttle performance as quickly. They open apps faster. They export videos smoother. And over the long term, the battery stays healthier because heat is one of its worst enemies. If Apple pulls this off, the Pro Max could become the ultimate all-day, everyday phone. No dimming the screen to save juice. No avoiding certain... That's because they drain the battery. It's just consistent performance from morning until well the next morning. 3. The Dynamic Island gets a diet. Dynamic Island was Apple's big design change in recent years. It replaced the notch with a floating interactive space for things like calls, music, and maps. It's clever, but it still takes up part of the screen. Some leaks say the Pro Max might get a smaller version, narrower, thinner, maybe even with components hidden under the display. This could mean more usable screen space and a cleaner, more refined look. It might sound small, but it changes how premium the device feels when you're holding it. That sleeker design could make the phone look more futuristic and less busy. This part isn't confirmed, Some insiders think both Pro models will keep the current size, but it makes sense for Apple to test new designs. On the Pro Max first, it has more internal space to work with, and Apple loves giving early adopters something exclusive. Shared upgrades that still matter. Beyond those three headline features, the Pro and Pro Max could share some important upgrades. Apple might ditch stainless steel for titanium or aerospace-grade aluminum. So that means lighter weight, better durability, and less smudging. Pair that with ceramic shield to 0.0, and these could be Apple's toughest iPhones yet. Still premium, still sleek, but easier to hold for hours without hand fatigue. And these changes aren't just for show. Titanium is strong, can take drops better. It doesn't scratch as easily. For people who never use a case, this could be a quiet but important improvement, setting the guess. So far, we've talked about three big things: a larger, better screen, a monster battery, and a more refined dynamic island, plus lighter, stronger materials. Even without touching the camera or AI upgrades yet, you can see the story Apple is trying to tell. The iPhone 17 Pro Max won't just be a big Pro, it'll be the ultimate iPhone for people who push their devices hard. Bigger screen, bigger battery, cleaner design, better endurance, and this is just the first half of the picture. In the next section, we'll dive into cameras, performance, AI features, and how this phone could set the tone for the next 5 years of Apple's design and strategy. So, that's where we leave it for now. The iPhone 17 Pro Max already looks like more than just a larger iPhone. It's shaping up to be the version for people who want no compromises. The brightest display, the longest battery life, the cleanest design, and the toughest build Apple has ever made. And this is only half the story. In Section 2, we'll dive into the cameras, the new chip, the AI features, and the hidden changes that could make this phone feel years ahead of its time. If what we've covered so far is about making the iPhone last longer and feel better to use, what comes next is about making it more powerful, more creative, and more future-proof than anything we've seen before.